Okay. Hey, everybody. We are back at this today. This is our second stream of the day. The first one was just a knee jerk reaction to getting this up. And now here we go because it's here. It's actually downloading right this moment. And so let me come back over here to the App Store. You can see I've got that much left of 10.7. And so we're going to be able to do this. We're going to just start in a second here. I'm just getting my stream settings all set up as we do this. But I think we're good to go. Hopefully I'm not too loud on the mic. I think that every time I do this with short notice, I'm just cramming all the settings in. But let's see how this goes. So we're so close. I mean, we're going to fire this up here momentarily. I'm going to move that off the screen. Here's from the website. They've updated the website. And there's some additional information about this. So I'm going to be checking out the release notes here. But looks like, I'm seeing some exciting new things. Again, so interesting that we have a tremolo effect for spatial audio, but whatever, cool. Okay. Hi to those in the chat. Okay, so here we go. This is the new startup dialog. And we're just going to create a new empty, we're going to do one from the template because it has the sample rate that I like. Wow, it's lighter now. Wasn't that like a darker gray color or something before? So I think that they've actually updated a number of interface things. We're going to find out if any of my plugins work, right? Okay, let's take that off. We don't need that on. Yeah, they've a lighter interface. And right off the bat, because this is what we do every time, sound library. Let's open up the manager. I see there's some things that are not installed that came with this. So the producer packs, Ultimate 808s, backlight bounce alpha waves, step sequencer or something or other. So 7 gigs. We'll see how snappy that comes down here. It's a little bit less than that, but maybe it's compressed. So we're getting all of those coming in. I don't know yet if this is going to work on Catalina or not, but we can check out some of the stuff down here. Compatibility, I don't know if it requires macOS 11 or later. So it's not going to work on everybody's old systems, but if you can get up to Mac OS 11 or later, that's from here. I'm just looking at this on the App Store. So 11 or later, age rating of 4+. My 3-year-old is out of luck. Actually, she just turned 4, so she's good to go with this thing. Yeah, those are whipping down pretty quickly. We'll see exactly what that is. It's like I'm noticing on the panners, there's like a little different elevation to the edges. Obviously it's 2D, but they've added like some nuance to the graphics there. And those panners as well. Let's see if I have a stereo track here. Uh-oh. Stereo out. So let's just load a stereo instrument real quick. I'm curious about the panner. It still defaults to balance, but then we have stereo pan and a binaural panner here. Oh, needs my password to do this. Something. That's just getting the additional sounds into the place. Okay, so I know, number one question of everybody out there is the ES2 Retina. And it's not. I knew it. There's no way. They don't care about the interface to that. Matter of fact, I don't remember seeing much about different plugins, but just because Sculpture, I mean, it looks the same. Yeah, so not like not everything is going to be changed here. Let's see if there's anything else just like randomly sticking out to me here in this list. Nope. Boof. All of you people who love Ultrabeat, you're stuck. Okay, so binaural panner itself looks the same, so they didn't do anything different with the binaural panning. That's okay though. So we're going to have to figure out this whole thing with spatial audio here. And I'm sure there's going to be a bunch of instructions on how to set it up and whatnot. But the default surround sound again looks, I think that it looks all the same. So nothing different in that area. Let's see. Yeah, so I don't... all of that stuff I'm imagining is just the same still. Well, we're still getting some things installed here. Okay, so let's open up, while we're here, let's do the what's new, or release notes rather. We really want the release notes. And we'll see how long this list is. Okay, there's a ton of things that are not related to spatial audio here. Tons of stuff. New features and enhancement. The count-in now uses the time signature of the bar where recording will start in cases where there is a time signature change at that bar. Oh, that's actually kind of genius. I mean, makes sense. If you have multiple time changes happening, you should really have something that does that. It's now possible to paste regions from multiple tracks to new tracks using a marquee selection. Okay, so a bunch of actually small, I mean, I'd consider these relatively small features, but definitely new things. So Step Sequencer now offers a function to separate drum machine design patterns by kit piece. Okay. I mean, that's useful. The select unused track command now excludes tracks inside summing tracks. Let's see what else. The track inspector now offers separate MIDI input and output port settings. The track inspector, did I just read that correctly? Port? Oh my goodness. This should have been like the headline of the whole thing. You were all witnessing, I mean, seriously, this wasn't, I mean, obviously they're going to talk about spatial audio in those producer kits or whatever, but this is like revolutionary for anyone using MIDI and Logic. This is the biggest deal I've ever seen. This is way bigger than track kits. We can now select ports on our MIDI tracks, our instrument tracks. So I can set the input to be whatever I want. And this thing is going to be, I mean, holy crap. We've been waiting for that for like decades. My mind is blown. This is way more important than anything else that this release has. Holy crap, that's awesome. If you don't understand the significance of that, I'm sorry. But if you have more than one MIDI keyboard, then you'll really appreciate that functionality right there. That is so important because now we can actually go through and do so much with this. Okay, so hold on, I'm going back. I'm just looking at my stream, make sure everything's cool. Okay, cool. So biggest news ever, MIDI import selection per track basis. I didn't even know that was going to be in this, and that's amazing. Step Sequencer now offers a mono mode. Okay, cool. But that last thing, dude. And, okay, this thing right here is also huge. It's now possible to convert MIDI regions to step sequencer pattern regions. Because that means we can have a MIDI thing we're working on, say, this would be better as a sequencer pattern. We can click on it. So I'm assuming inside Logic here, say that I'm recording something with MIDI, right? All right, so I got that. And then I'm going to come through here, right click on this. Is it under convert to pattern region? And then whatever I just played turns into a pattern. Oh my gosh. Again, these are some really key, huge things. And there's also a way to do interpolated data between two values. Okay, I'll have to explore and see what that means a little bit. Okay, so some questions are nuts up here from LA Winter. What does that let you input notes from other tracks or just keyboards? Other notes. Let me look. That's actually a great question. So let me have two tracks up here, just an empty one. I'm on the first one. MIDI import. Just from physical places or the IAC driver. So you can actually route the IAC driver someplace. Internal and remote. What does internal and remote mean? Gosh. Internal and remote. I'm looking at this stuff for the first time, so edit track parameters. Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to figure out what that means. I don't know. That's going to be something, but that shows up, internal and remote. Maybe that's... Dang. If you have anybody has any ideas. Okay. So back to the list for a minute, because as cool as spatial audio is, I'm more interested in this list right here personally. Let's see. So stability and reliability, great. Another could have unexpectedly quit. So I'm not going to look through all of those. Those are just fixing the obvious stuff. Logic's graphic performance no longer affected by running a Logic remote on a connected iPad. Didn't know that was an issue. So some overall performance things, kind of cool. Okay, so then Step Sequencer has a bunch of new tweaks. Good. I mean, that's one of the highlights of the newer versions, and to consistently make it better is really cool. Live loops, we're going to skip over for the moment. For those of you who use live loops, have fun. I just don't, and I don't know what they're fixing because I don't use them very much. Key map outputs routing for the sampler now correctly set correctly. Samples recorded in Quick Sampler and saved as settings. Okay, blah. Okay, cool. Some basic sampler, Quick Sampler updates. Automation. Looks like they fixed a number of things. Chasing. Fixed a few things. Track stacks. Fixed a few things. Flex time and flex pitch. Does it say anywhere here that it always sounds perfect now? A perfect sound, perfect. No, I don't see a perfect sound. Sorry, everybody. But it looks like they did make a few things better. Some alchemy fixes. Some plugin fixes. Actually, this where the IR and Space Designer could be unexpectedly truncated when the sampler is changed. I've experienced that a couple times. Good. Some mixer fixes, some group fixes, drummer, drum machine designer tweaks, takes and comping some tweaks, track alternative tweaks, fade tweaks, smart tempo tweaks, sound library. Okay, this is a big one. It is now possible to use an alias to refer to sound library content manually moved to a non-default location. Ah, that would have been easy to do from day one. From day one. But no, we get it now. That means you can manually move something and just put an alias there to the new location, which means you can move it whenever you want. And as long as there's an alias to that point in that location, you're going to be okay. So that's actually going to be really cool. Volumes on box. Choose an individual drum machine designer kit piece from the patch library. Okay, that's different. Oh, wow. For all you people who wanted to see the Wild Dreams Beat 01 Apple Loop playback smoothly, now it's fixed. That's sarcasm, but still cool. I mean, look at the number of fixes in here. Okay, it just goes on. I'm not going to read through all of these right this moment, but you bet I'm going to read through them later. See, some of the things they fixed are huge, freaking huge. Okay, so then, let's see, what should we be looking at now? It's like I need to know how we're doing this with, not EQ. I want to see how we're doing this with. Do we have a specific way to do this? Okay, I'm going to look one other place real quick. What's new in Logic Pro? Is that just going to take me to the same place? No, it is different. So it's optimized for the MacBook Pro, more sounds, more loops, transform. So I need to see exactly what the workflow is for the spatial audio. Bed tracks and object tracks. The 3D object panner to position. Okay, so we're going to need to figure this out. The 3D object panner to position mono and stereo to make, you must set up your project for spatial audio. That's what I need to do. Project sample rates, spatial audio supports 48 to 96. So we need to be at least at 48 kilohertz. I mean, that pretty much means if you're doing this 44.1, it's finally gone. 512 samples. So we need to have a high buffer size. I'm assuming that's just to handle the stuff. So I'll need to change that on my setup. When you create a spatial audio, so we'll come back here in a second. Okay, increase the buffer size, turn on. So project settings audio, that's kind of what I was thinking it was going to be. But let me come through here real quick and do, again, anyone who's just joining, this is like the first time I've loaded this up. Look at the new style for the preferences. I mean, that's just a graphic thing, but wait a second. Did anyone see something that just happened here? I just changed the buffer size. Do I have an instrument even loaded? No, maybe that's why. Let me load up an instrument and see if that still does it. So I've got Alchemy loaded here. I'm going to change this to 512. And I just changed it and it didn't reload the session. I just changed the buffer size and it didn't reload my session. I'm terrified to make any other changes because I'm live streaming. But I just changed the buffer size and it didn't reload my session. Let me say that again like 15 times. Geez. Okay, so second step was to go into project settings, audio. And we are going to turn on spatial audio. It says Dolby Atmos is our choice. That's fine. Okay. Still don't know why they have an Apple Loops high quality toggle. Shouldn't they always be high quality? I mean, whatever. Okay, so now we've got the Atmos plugin here. And monitoring format. Okay, so this is cool. Monitoring, we have binaural 2.0, 5.1, 7.1, 5.1.4, and 7.1.4. And so that's useful, right? So that's actually kind of useful. It means I can listen to whatever I'm doing in binaural, and it's going to let me choose the binaural render. I'm going to have to read more about all of these because it's going to tell me a lot. Okay, so we've got that set up. Spatial audio and surround format, buffer size, output, routing, project frame rate. Changes all outputs and channels set to stereo output to surround. Creates a surround master. Hides the stereo output channel strip. Any existing effects in the insert slots no longer be processed. Changes the project frame rate to 24. So I'll come back in here for a second. I mean, that one, it said that it would convert all of those, but it didn't for this one. So let's mute that. And I'm going to put I'm just keep it simpler. Just do a retro synth on this. I'm hoping. Oop, that's stuck. Thank you. I just need to make sure that I've got sound. Whoa, what is happening? My pedal's jamming. That's weird. So I'm having an issue with my keyboard playing the wrong MIDI thing, but I will certainly fix that in a little bit. Let's do port 1. Okay, so I'm going to open up my panner now. So I've got this panner, which probably means I need to keep it like this, but we'll figure that out in a minute. Oh my gosh, 3D object panner. Now you can see my instrument got added over here. That panner looks a lot like Pro Tools. And then I can pan this around. So I don't know if you know this about Dolby Atmos. We have ear level and above. That's one of the biggest differences between Dolby Atmos and, say, Ambisonics, which Ambisonics actually does below you as well. And this doesn't. So we have ear level and we can go up. And then in the front, we get to move this around. So I had to choose from my output that I wanted the 3D object panner involved with this. And so then it could go over into this, which is part of the Dolby Atmos master plugin. So we have input object channels 2 of 118, and it's being monitored in binaural, which means we could actually hear that going around. It just means we don't actually get to move and hear it like that. Okay, so I'm trying to see if there's other questions going on in the chat. Not right this second. So we have that happening, and I want to actually see what we have for metering right now. Loudness meter. Let's see if we have other metering that's... So I have meters to be able to see what's happening on the output. But it doesn't look like I have like a really useful, like the full metering that we have without spatial audio. So let's come into here for a second. I don't know if it's what it's gonna show here. So all those stereo, dual, mono. Vintage. Okay, all of that stuff on the way into this is the same. We have multi-mono now for the output of these. And we have a 7.1.4 option for the limiter. So we do have the ability to limit the entire thing together. That's what they're meaning by prepared for the spatial audio stuff. Any of them that have that will let us do it. So Match EQ is a 7.1.4. Great for mastering. These are just going to be multi-mono, I guarantee it. Filters. So the level meter, loudness meter, and tuner are all 7.1.4s. The chorus is, the flanger is, the microphaser is, the modulation delay is, the phaser is, the tremolo is, remixes. And then we have Space Designer. And then we have multi-channel gain. And then, third party stuff. So those are the ones that are all now been optimized for the 7.1.4. So this makes it super easy to do this. And you can see now our dual our meters down here on the tracks. So that's interesting. What else was there as a part of this? So there was some questions. I don't actually have a 32-bit file to play in my browser. I don't know. And in fact, I haven't even gone through these yet. Oh my goodness. Let's see. All files. Yeah, I don't have a 32-bit file handy. Let me see if I have all of my advanced. I think all my advanced stuff should be turned on. So it's not giving us separate things now. It's just all complete features or not. Interesting. So that's a little different. So let me think what else there was here. In terms of the new instruments, I don't know if it's going to be easy. It should be easy to see the producer, whatever they're called. So they're in here, like Track Girl. So you can actually like pull open the files that are here. So now we can actually, you can search by the actual loop packs, and which I think we could do that before, but you're going to need that if you want to find some of the new special things. Does the browser still play only in time with the tempo if you audition while the playhead is moving? That should actually be really easy to test. So if I go down to like 5 beats per minute and play in, so those are the keys. What else do we have here? Link filter, sections to a Logic remote. Looks like I need to upgrade my Logic remote too. And the answer to your question is it follows the tempo even when you're not playing. I mean, I just did that and it played it at 5 BPM even though the transport was not playing. Okay, so there's a ton of like little things. I mean, there's a ton of little things. I mean, there's a lot of things. It's not just spatial audio, that's for sure. And so I'm super excited about this. Let's see. Okay, we've been going about 30 minutes. I'm going to be doing breakdown videos of all of these things, but is there anything else anybody specifically wants to have me check before I sign off and go back to daily life for a little bit before I make some new videos tonight? Oh, you meant the browser, not Apple Loop. So sorry. And you can see I've got it set to the slow latency here. So I don't even know. I wonder what I'll have to mess around with your question on that. So which instruments are you talking about? They added the new packs. They added the new packs, and in those packs, they just came from the same ones that were in GarageBand over the summer. But there aren't any new instruments. I mean, we don't have any like actual new instruments. We just have new packs for existing instruments. So for instance, if I'm looking over here and it's like I want to see what came down with Boys Noise. I don't even know how right now how these are set up or organized. Because this is the part that I struggle with them, is that they're like, they dump a bunch of stuff on us, and our browser for these things is so horrible that I don't even know. It's going to be hard in some ways to find the ones that they gave us, unless I'm missing something super obvious. Because these are just pulling up audio loops. And these ones are all the drummer tracks. But on the side here, I don't see a new category for the things that they just updated. Performance patches, producer kits. 50 new kits. Okay, so that's what I was just saying a minute ago. The 50 new kits are not drummers. They're not like the drummer instrument. They're like sample banks. And I don't know where they are, actually. I'm going to look for them here for a second. Because I want you to all understand exactly what they did here. I was following this when they did it with GarageBand over the summer, but it's not like new drummers or anything. I mean, these things are, I mean, they kind of are, but let me see if I can find them. So let's open up, let's see if they're in the drummer. Maybe they are. Oh, they might be. Well, I don't know. They look this. They added better images for all of the drummers. So let's not go into there because I don't see how they're in there. I don't see anything new in there. Let's go to the drum kit designer and see if they're in here. I mean, those defaults are exactly the same. So they're not in there. So let's do the drum machine designer. And I mean, my guess is that they're in here, but I don't have that list memorized to tell you which ones are the new ones. So they're probably just in the drum machine designer patch. Where are they though? On my keyboard. Weird. Oh, I don't have sound right now because I switched to the new spatial audio. That's exciting. So I'm guessing that they're just in here. They're just listed inside the presets for the drum machine designer, which I wish that they would have a little bit more clearly labeled what they are, but because we had like a ton of these in the first place, and now we just have more, and most of them are one-off samples. We did not get new drummers for the drummer track, as far as I can tell. We can look one more place here, which is the like electronic. I mean, these look all the same to me. But we can change the kits that they're working with. Well, I don't know. Um, if anyone has any, I'm gonna have to do a little research on where those specifically landed. But as far as I can tell, these ones here that had 2,800 loops, 50 kits, those are just drum machine designer kits as far as I can tell. And then the patches would come from those. But there's no more drummers. There's no more like auto drummers. These are all just still patterns you'll have to make. So you'd have to, yeah, collection of 808 drum kits, bass samples, and loops. But they made it really fun to find. Jeez. I think these Roland TR-808s were already in there. So I don't know what they've added. Let's come out and just do an 808 search. Yeah. Well, I'll have to make a video on those ones coming up because it's not clear exactly. It's like I can find the loop packs and I can see that there's likely to be more drum machine designer ones, but I don't see a list off the top of anywhere where it says these are the new ones and these are the ones that belong to the producers. But certainly I don't see any new drummers doing any new styles. So, I mean, we're in the same boat with the drummers, the auto drummers. We just have a bunch of new sounds that we can pull from when you're doing your own beats. Or you can actually like pull open one of the existing drummers and just change the kit to one of the new kits that they're there. More octaves easily in the step sequencer. That's a good question. I don't know if you can easily do it because you're talking about in here where if I wanted to put a bunch of things in there, it looks like, oh my gosh. I mean, you could always do it easily. And the easy way is like this, where you put it into learn and then you play a bunch of notes to have it go in. But I don't know about easy. So the loop packs, you can see the names of the new ones in here. So Marcella, this is like the Boys Noise one. And so you can see all of the loops. Oh, it's still down at 5 beats per minute. And I've already heard a lot of these because they were in GarageBand earlier this summer. And there's some really cool things in there. I mean, you're going to be able to pull these up and recreate and do things. Like, for instance, you can pull one of these new ones over to here and say, I want to do, let's see, zone per note sampler if you want, or the quick sampler optimize. Let's do that. And then cool. So there's things I can do with that. I think I need to reset my keyboard. It's wigged out since I've installed this update. So you can use them and reuse them and regurgitate them, but it doesn't look like it's really easy to find where the actual kits are. But they're not here. They're not over in the actual loop packs. They should have put them over here with like beats attached to them so we could say, oh, this is a test of the thing that they just released. But I mean, we can kind of do that here with the, like, for instance, with any of the drummers who play with the drum machine designers. It's like I could come through and, oh, there we go. And once again, oh, there's no output. What? So there's a default to no output. I don't understand that. Cool. So easy now to do the 3D object panner into the Atmos. Man, that is so easy. Okay, well, like I said, I'm about to jump off of this thing, and then I'm going to start making some videos for later on. But you're all asking good questions. I don't have the answer to all of them, obviously, just opening this up for the first time, but I think that certainly there's a lot of promising stuff. Just to recap, we can now choose our MIDI inputs. I mean, I can come through and be like, I want this track to be on this MIDI, physical MIDI input with this MIDI channel. That's so good. We can also convert our MIDI files into the step sequencer. In fact, watch this. I'm going to right click on this drummer track, convert to MIDI region, and then I'm going to convert it one more time over. Oh, wait. Oh, maybe that's because it's on a drummer track. If I take it off the drummer track, convert to, why can't I, pattern region. There's a question. I have a question. It lets me do a MIDI track over. Why can't I do a converted drummer track over to it? I'm going to be so confused. So there, jeez. Separate. There's something funky in the neighborhood about this. I don't know why I could just convert a MIDI track I recorded, but I can't do a drummer track that I converted to a MIDI track. Anyway, obviously we have some stuff to figure out here because, geez, if I can't do that, then I'm going to be so ticked that I can't convert to a pattern region. I feel like I should be able to convert any MIDI region into there. Let's come back onto here and do a convert. See, I can go to a drummer track. And this one here I made, let's convert to a MIDI region. And then let's convert that back to a pattern region. Convert this to a MIDI region. Put it on the same track as the other one. Convert. And it won't let me. I'm going to lose my mind. Why would they do that? Okay. On that note, I am going to pull the plug on this live stream and go weep in the other room about these features that sometimes are so cool, but in this case, let you down a little bit. Anyway, check it out. Like I said, I'm doing a lot more videos in the next few days about all of these things, actually showcasing some of this stuff, but super cool. And I'm excited. I'm excited to see where it's going to catastrophically fail in the next few days, but more on that later. Thanks for joining, and I will talk to you later. End the stream.